His name is Gareth, and he rips bits. His name is Gareth, hence why it's Gareth's. His name is Gareth.
Good evening, welcome. This is Gareth's. This is improvised stand-up comedy. All right, the way this works is each week you find people send in a bunch of suggestions. I've never seen them before. I'll react to them for the first time this evening. I'll riff on them. My name's Gareth. Gareth's, it's very creative. Everybody is talking about how dynamic the name is, and it's a great name. So shall we begin? Now the first part is not audience-based suggestions. These are my editor buddy Andrew. He's got these headlines he pulls, gives them to me. So let's see. This is Riffs Just In, and the first one here is Brian May, Queen guitarist, wins battle with Sainsbury's to save Hedgehog, and it says, campaigners say they are over the moon as they link up with shopping giant to protect homes of the wild animals. Okay, so Brian May is the guitarist from Queen. He's actually a very, very interesting fellow. He like makes his own guitar strings, all that stuff. And this only following along in what's interesting. So now the way the headline is, Brian May, Queen guitarist, wins battle with Sainsbury's. I think I've played too much Guitar Hero because I picture that he has defeated Sainsbury's, the local grocer in England, with his guitar. You know, like Sainsbury's is like, well, that's it now. We're going to put the Sainsbury's wherever we like. And Brian May was like, oh, really? And like cartoons shot out. And Sainsbury's was like, ooh, get down. We're being attacked by Brian May's musical notes. And like diving, you know. And then there's the Hedgehogs. They have the little homes. And the Sainsbury's executives are like, quick, we could dive in one of those hedgehog homes. And then the Hedgehogs are like, oh, what's up now, bitch? You know, and then the Hedgehogs like turn around and give them a little like pin cushion action in their faces, you know, as Brian May is sitting there like, you know. But the great thing is there's no real I don't really know how he saved the Hedgehogs. That's not what I've been offered. So all we know is he wins a battle with Sainsbury's and he saved Hedgehogs. And you know, and I think if you told Freddie Mercury in the 80s, you know, don't worry, the legacy of Queen will continue on, and Brian May will single-handedly save hedgehog homes. I think Freddie Mercury would have said, I like the sound of that. That sounds rather nice, doesn't it? So, that's actually a picture. I thought I got to be the picture. Brian May is in this picture I have, and he's still got very long hair, and it's very gray, and dare I say, I thought he was a grandmother. I thought he was a grandmother, as it were. But good for Brian May. He's got a beautiful head of hair still, and he's saving hedgehogs, and he's not cutting that hair. He doesn't care if he looks like a grandma everywhere. That's his cross to bear. All right, let's move on. Okay, the next headline is, conservatives are more likely to express concern about climate change when framed as a national security concern and communicated by members of the armed force. And there's a circled part here which says, in a large survey experiment, we show that conservatives are more likely to express concern about climate change when framed. Yeah, well, we already read that part. Okay, so that is very interesting because not very funny, but it's very interesting because the conservatives, if the army tells them that there's climate change, then they believe climate change. But if scientists tell them about climate change, they're like, oh, well, let me guess, you're one of those fancy scientists with a fancy degree, and you think you know so much better than me, and you're a fucking genius. And then like a sergeant is like, you get permission to be honest. The Arctic is melting, and the sea levels are rising. And they're like, whoa, Jack. Which is how I've always kind of felt. Like, I've always felt like what we need to get climate change, like people to act on climate change, is we just need to invent the enemy. We need a physical enemy. We need a manifestation of climate change. We need like the Bin Laden of climate. We need a guy. We need a person. What we should do, this is what we should totally fucking do. If you're the president and you believe in climate change and you recognize the dangers of climate change, you should say that you're getting messages from aliens and the aliens are threatening to melt the ice and heat the planet with a ray gun and all that, and then after that, then you go to the citizens and you're like, people of America, this is me, Gareth Reynolds, your president. Now, again, weird choice to elect me. Don't know what the fuck you were thinking. I've smoked a ton of weed and done a good amount of hallucinogens, and there's some videos I did in college where I was naked. But anyway, that's irrelevant. What matters is this: we have an enemy today who has come for us, and that enemy is an alien. And then people will be like, stop. And this alien is threatening to heat our planet and take away future generations from us and rise the oceans. And people will be like, well, what should we do, Mr. President? How do we stop the aliens? And you go, you've got to become a goddamn vegetarian or at least source your meat. No more plastics. No more cars. They're electric only. I almost said no more electric cars, which would have gone against the message. The goddamn teleprompter's skipping. But that's what we need. We will best these aliens. Then we would have like a place to focus it and be like, we're going to fuck these Martians up with our change of lifestyle ray gun. You know? Like, that's what we need. Like, we need the deep impact meteor scenario, but with climate change. Because climate change is gradual, it doesn't feel like the same enemy. We need someone to be like, if we don't change shit by December 18th, we're going to fucking die, you know? That's what we need. So there you go. So that's that. And here's, okay, no, last one. Scientists drive tiny robot around inside living butthole. What the fuck just got, what? Scientists drive tiny robot around inside living butthole. I think we're one preposition heavy in there. I think we could just say they drive tiny robot inside living butthole or around living butthole, but instead it's around inside living butthole. What did we learn? I don't know what we learned. That's what happens. They come back and they go, what did you find out in the field? And they're like, Roger hates it when we put a robot in his ass and make it do wheelies. Interesting. Well, that's very interesting information. We're excited to take it back to the government that granted us the money for this experiment. Now, what does Roger feel about when you drive it further into his anus? He didn't like that either. Really? No. Roger overall was pretty upset about the whole robot in his ass thing. Interesting. Yeah, we were all fascinated. We put the little robot inside his bunghole and we hit D, and next thing you know, he was all cranky. He was going, really? Yeah, he was just, whoa, ow, you know. So we were like, what are we going to do? Of course, well, you don't need to hear it. No, go on. Well, we realized that there's no reverse on the robot, so we couldn't reverse the robot. So, you know, we just kind of kept it in his anus for a little while, and then we had to manually pull it out. How did he take that? Not well. He said it didn't feel good. And, that's basically most of the findings. How can this be valuable? Well, I think in future we know to not put a robot inside of Roger, at least his asshole. Maybe his mouth. I don't know for sure. Right. Well, job well done. Now let's see how he feels about having a pencil put inside it a bunch. Yep, that's next on the list. Yep, robot, pencil, and then we're just going to spit on it a ton. Good. Well, we're doing a lot of good stuff here at Ass Labs. Hey, I got no complaints about Ass Labs. I love it here at Ass Labs. We are top-notch scientists here at Ass Labs. We sure are. All right, well, we'll go back there to put the pencil inside of Roger. Great. Let me know how he likes that. Be very interesting. Yeah, my gut is he's going to like it a little bit better than the robot. Interesting. Well, return with your findings. We shall. Thank you so much, sir. I don't work here. Yeah, neither do we. Thank you so much. So that would be what life would be like at Ass Labs. And that's the end of the show. No, that's the end of the headlines. Now we get to your suggestions. There's no secret suggestion this week. I don't have one. I'll have one next week. But this week, there's no hidden suggestion. So this week, all right, the first suggestion is Unmentionables. Unmentionables, a.k.a., I believe, the undergarments, right? That's a nice way of putting it. Unmentionables, right? That's what you would do in the old time. You'd go, well, I just got to go upstairs and just change my unmentionables, you know? But you're mentioning them, so it's a mentionable, unmentionable, which, you know, is a bit of a tough distinction to make. But I mean, that's more universal. Like in England, they call underwear pants, and here we call trousers pants. And it made it very confusing for me growing up when someone would ask me to go put on my pants, and then I'd come down in my underwear, and they'd be like, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, "I'm wearing my pants." And they'd say, No, your trousers." And I'd say, "Wow, this is a vexing situation we find ourselves in again with these differences, the nuances between our languages and dialects." But yeah, I mean, it's not a sexy way to put it, right? Like, you never see that where some woman's just like, "If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go slip into my unmentionables." Right? Yeah. And that's the end of Unmentionables. We've had a good run there. Okay, what is giving me hope these days? Well, the vaccine seems fairly promising. I think that's a reason for a little bit of hope. Outside of that, there's got to be something that's giving me hope. There's people are starting to get fed up and pissed off, and that is good because we need that. We need to fight this stupid system that we live under, and that's good. So people are pissed, and that gives me hope. But the truth is, I'm honestly starting to wilt in my battle for hope. We are not making changes at the rate that we need to, but I'll tell you what, new season of Below Deck. Mwah, real good. So that gives me a little bit of hope. Okay, 3 food items for the rest of my life. Fuck, that's good. Okay, well, I'm guessing I'm going to allow myself water. I'm going to assume I get water in this. So then my food items will be pizza, because it's fucking delicious and can be eaten at any temperature. I think I would probably go... I think I got to put peanut butter on the list. I'd put peanut butter on the list. So that's pizza and peanut butter. By the way, I'm a Ninja Turtle, diet-wise. And probably wine. I would say those would be my 3. And I guess I'm going to need some Prilosec based on my dietary choices. But yeah, so those would be the 3 food items. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you just want to, I mean, if you're going to only have 3, like, you don't want one to be like lettuce and carrots, it's like you got to make bold decisions right away. And I guess I'm assuming that there's some sort of calamity, therefore I'm in this predicament. I don't know, but it would be peanut butter, wine, and pizza. Those are the 3 things I think I could easily live off of. You never get sick of that. I've eaten pizza 10,000 times, and all I need is a knife. But I've eaten pizza 10,000 times. And I will never be sick of it. You never get sick of it. It's impossible to get sick of it. You can feel shitty from too much of it, but you could eat it the next day. I mean, I've murdered pizzas, and peanut butter to me they should call peanut butter Pandora's box, because once I open a jar, it's game fucking over. It's all gonna be gone. And then wine, what am I? I've got water. We already established I get water, so I'm just gonna be fucking pounding that shit. Okay, here we go. Dungeons and Dragons, Jesus Christ, another one I know a lot about. I don't know a lot about Dungeons and Dragons. I know there's an 8-sided die, and I know that in order to play it, you can only have masturbated. No sex is allowed if you've played Dungeons and Dragons. No, I mean, I know. Look, it's one of those things that people who play it fucking love it. Like, I have friends who play it. I know other comedians who play it. And they fucking love it. I personally, it's not for me. I liked Outside. But it seems like you get very invested. I mean, I'm just like that in general. Like, I don't play any video games. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. I don't play any of that shit. I don't know what I really do for fun. Well, honestly, I sit around, I eat pizza, drink wine, and pound peanut butter. So that's just me. All right, next. Oh, my God. Average Rush fan loses virginity. Man, average age, sorry, not average, that's not a headline. Average Rush fan loses virginity. Dungeons and Dragons over. The average age that a Rush fan loses their virginity. Well, let me give you a little backstory. My brother is 12 years older than I, and he loves Rush, and I really liked Primus. He liked Primus a lot too, but Primus was opening up for Rush in Milwaukee, so we went, and I just never seen people that into a band. I did not connect to the music. Eventually, I would. I like Rush, but I did not connect to the music, and it was a lot of nerdy men. It was a lot of nerdy white men. But man, were they tearing holes through their jeans when Neil Peart was pounding away on the cymbals. All these. I mean, they may as well have like a cum break after Neil Peart plays drums at a Rush show. You know, just give the guys a second to empty their balls in their pants. They're just like, oh my God, Neil Peart, you are drummer God. You know, there's no doubt in my mind Neil Peart didn't need to play the drums with drumsticks that evening. If he wanted to play it with mid-30 balding boners, he would have had no problem. But you know, so it was and then the lasers, they were just laser crazy, and everyone was like, oh my God, this is amazing. They were laser craze. But all right, so I mean, there's no proof of this. I would love an actual answer, but I think Rush is a band for people, like a lot of musicians are heavily influenced by them. So I'm going to guess the average age that a Rush fan loses their virginity is 22. That's what I would guess, 22. Unless, of course, Neil Peart made himself available, then they would fuck, suck, do whatever Neil Peart wanted at the time. He has passed, but I still don't think that would stop some of the fan base from letting him have their way with him. Okay. Now, let's check some comments real quick. We got Daddy Reynolds in the house. Papa Reynolds is here. Coleslaw for sure. What is happening in here? My Lord. I'm trying to see where Peter entered the room. I can't see it. Hi, Dad. Hello. How are you? Father's here. Yeah, well, Primus better than Rush. I totally agree. What did you not do this week? Did you say no? Peter did not submit a topic this week. Okay, here we go. That's amazing. All right, let's keep germaphobes. Well, I think the germaphobes is a suggestion. I think germaphobes have been vindicated over the pandemic. I really do. I think germaphobes now are they're not as crazy as they once were. Look, I'm on the side of the germaphobe. In a regular world, I fly pretty much every week, so that's multiple flights every week. And it's fucking disgusting. There's nothing more disgusting than flying in some shitbird that's full of coughs and farts and strangers. You know, it's gross. And I've sat next to people who are dying of the fucking flu before and had to be there and be like, hi, cool. Oh yeah, you practice law? That's awesome. You know? That's always the worst, you know, when you sit next. I've sat next to so many people who sit down, they're like, and I'm like, I have no problem being like, are you sick? And they're like, I do, I'm a little sick. And I'm like, well, what the fuck you. I mean, I don't know what else to say. So I started wearing a mask probably about 3 years ago on planes. Not every plane, but most planes. Most times I was on the plane, I would wear a mask. And then the world caught up with old daddy, okay? The world eventually was like, oh, God, we need to stop this. I swear to God, I would walk in, like, if I was ever in an international terminal, it would be myself and mainly Asian people, and we would give each other head nods. You know, they'd walk around with their mask, be like that, and I'd see them and be like, how are you? Same team. Let's do this. Because part of it, and people go, well, that's just to protect people from getting what you have. And it's like, yeah, it is. But there's no doubt that a layer of fabric over your face is going to stop. I mean, we've learned that through the coronavirus, through the pandemic. So germaphobes on that level, like my level, I'm cool with. And also, you know, you got to touch a lot of people. You got to wash your hands and shit. But then there are the crazy people who, not crazy, but the people who have it real bad who, you know, they get into a hotel room and they put towels on the floor so they sort of walk around like they're, you know, Eddie Murphy and Coming to America on the rose petals. They don't want their feet to touch the floor. I'm not going to lie. I've hand sanitized the hotel remote. You know why? Because I've used the hotel remote. I've been the dirty pig man who, you know, it's just like you're sharing so much with strangers when you go into a hotel. And I've heard comedians say some fucking disgusting stuff about staying in like the stuff they've done. And I'm like, I'm not using those towels anymore. And I've seen stuff about how the maids clean the inside of the glass. Like it's disgusting. So I'm kind of on the side of the germaphobe on this one. I know it was probably set up to make me shit on them, but no. By the way, germaphobes are the worst people to shit on. They freak out. They're like, no, the matter. Okay. Why did your parents ever move to Wisconsin? Well, that's a good one, right, Papa? Well, my parents lived in England, and my father got a job offer in the States, in Cleveland. And so my father, my mother, and my brother, Nick, they all moved to Cleveland, Wisconsin. And my mother thought that was Cleveland, Wisconsin, to Cleveland, Ohio. And eventually they moved to Wisconsin where they would birth the devil, me. But my brother they were a very English family. My mother, small town England. My brother knew nothing. My brother was 7, and he was just like a little English boy walking around. And my mother didn't know any better, so my mother sent him to Cleveland Public School at 7 or 8 in his school uniform. In his little tie, his shirt with his blazer with an emblem on it, and his little shorts, and his little, I go to boarding school chapeau. And my brother went to school, and then he just came home, and my mother was like, how was it? And he goes, I need new clothes. Like clothes, because he was threatened with violence often because of how he was dressed. I mean, they threw that fucking kid to the wolves. I don't know how neither one of them was like, hey, should we ask someone about something? Everyone was like, no, it's fine. Kids here probably wear the same uniform they do in England for sure. There's no doubt in my mind they wear the same uniform. Like he's got the Hillsdale emblem. He'll be fine. What's different? Name one difference. But basically for a job. My father got a job, and my whole family moved there. My mother pretty much envisioned Beverly Hills, and then she was in Cleveland, which I don't know if you've ever studied topography, but they're very different cities. So yeah, and then they moved to Wisconsin. Then my father got another job, and they moved to Wisconsin, where they had me, and the rest is crazy. Okay, what annoys me? Well, there's a lot of stuff that annoys me. You know one thing that annoys me? This has always annoyed me. I hate when you're in a fine mood and someone thinks you're in a bad mood, and they put you in a bad mood by asking what's wrong with you. I've had that happen in relationships. I've had that happen with my parents, Like maybe you're just quiet for a minute, And someone's like, you okay? And you're like, yeah, I'm okay. Are you sure? Always hit you with the are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah. No, I'm sure. Yeah. What's wrong? No, I just was so super clear that nothing's really wrong. There's nothing, there's nothing wrong right now at all. So what's bothering you, though? Something's on your mind. Nope, really nothing much. Just watching some college football. Just kind of clearing my head, not thinking much. Did I do something? No, nothing happened. Nothing has happened. Nothing has changed. So I'd really rather, I'm saying I'm in a fine mood. I really am. I'm in a fine mood. Do you need space? You kind of seem like agitated. Yeah, well, I'm getting a little hot right now just because I keep saying that I'm okay, and then you keep pushing back. So you are upset. I'm starting to get upset, but when you initially asked, I was fine, and I remained calm and fine. It's a little aggravating that you keep asking me what's wrong. So you're kind of getting upset now. Yeah, no, I'm pissed. I'm pissed now. I knew there was something wrong. No, you didn't, because this is self-fulfilling, because I was fine, and then you came over, and you started needling and asking what was wrong, and nothing was wrong. You're shouting, because something's wrong. You fucking kept asking me what was wrong, and it made something wrong. So something has been wrong the whole time, to be clear. No, to be clear, everything was fucking fine, and then you kept fucking pushing it, and then you just fucking, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Wow, you're in a terrible mood. I am furious at you now. I hate you. I hate your guts. Boy, I just want to know what was going on. And I said nothing. I said everything was fine, and you lied to me. I was being honest, you asshole. You did this. Ah, you are so moody. You did this. So that annoys me. It annoys me. People who are in the fast lane on a freeway who drive slowly. People who leave their turn signal on. Bothers me. People who wash their windshield when they're driving so that you have to wash your windshield, and then the person behind you has to wash their windshield, and then it's just never fucking ending just because one person was like, I don't like all the bugs on here. And then they're like, and then you're like, great, now I've got like, a little cum shot on my screen, and then the person behind's like, never ends. What else annoys me? It annoys me. It annoys me when you have one of those dreams where you, like, if you want, like, let's say it's the middle of the night and you want water, and you're like, oh, I wish I had water. And then you sleep a little bit more, and then you dream that you went and got water and had it, and it was really good, and then you wake up and you're like, that was good water. And then you're like, I never even got water. Yeah, that's a good list. That's a good list of things that annoy me. You know what I love that annoys people? I love when you think someone works at a store and they don't, how pissed they get, You go up, you're like, sir, how much is this? I don't work here. You're just like, oh, it's a great way to just aggravate anyone. Just go up to someone in a store with like a scarf, like clearly not working there. Just go up to them, with a can of soup and be like, you still doing 2 for 1? They'll be like, what the fuck is you, what? I don't work here. It's your problem. You're like, oh, it looks like you work. What about this? Look, I'm cold from the outside. My cheeks are rosy. I have a scarf on. You're like, hey, just curious. And then you turn to the wife. You're like, you work here? No, neither of us work here. Oh, I thought maybe he was next to you because he was asking you for help. Yeah, well, neither of us work here. Okay. Is something wrong? No, nothing. Everything's fine. Does Dave annoy me? That's a question for me. Dave does not annoy me. Dave will annoy me like on purpose. Like when we're in like an airport together, he will we have wheelie bags, and he will hit his wheelie bag into my wheelie bag and start trying to take my wheelie bag in a stray angle. That bothers me. But no, he's a very chill guy. All right. How many pillows are the right amount of pillows for bed? That's a good question. Well, I think overall you want to have 4 pillows on the bed. 4 pillows on the bed. For sleeping, I think you probably want 2 pillows. 2 pillows, get that neck elevated a little bit, keep your shoulder off of it. So the final answer from me, 4 pillows on the bed, 2 pillows for the head. That's how you can remember it. How does that go? 4 pillows for the bed, 2 pillows for the head. That's another thing, like when you live with every time I've lived with a girl, I'm always like, why are there 8 other little baby pillows here? Why I don't need, what's with all the accoutrement? Why do we have these extra pillows? You're just like, we don't need, who are these for? They're decorative. Well, I don't care. It's just you and I. Nobody's here. It's us. Who comes into our bedroom? I mean, it's just nice to have. Well, we do the same thing with them every night. The part of the thing when you go to bed is you take the 7 bullshit pillows and just toss them, creating more work for when you wake up in the morning. You just need 4 pillows for sleeping. You don't need any of these little baby pillows, Oh, that looks nice. You don't need those. Don't need those pillows. Okay. Four Seasons Hotel versus the landscaping. So I'm sure you guys heard that. Wait, hold on. Let me check my camera real quick. Sorry. Yeah. I'm sure you guys heard that story that Donald Trump, the Trump campaign arranged for a big proclamation about how the legal team is going to take the system down. But they meant to do it at a Four Seasons, and then they ended up doing it at a landscaping place. I mean, just fucking delicious right off the bat. I mean, the idea that Rudy Giuliani went out there and had to speak. Like, I've done stand-up shows where you're like, I do not want to do this. Like, you're backstage and you just know you're going to fucking eat shit. You just know you're going to bomb. You're back there and you're just like, this is going to suck. I'm going to be out there for an hour and this is going to suck, but I'm going to get through it. You know, it reminds me when I used to do kids' birthday parties. Like so many times when I would do children's birthday parties, I'd dress up like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, Winnie the Pooh, whatever they wanted, you know. And I would have this moment before I would go in where I'd just be like, it reminded me of the Bill Hicks line. Bill Hicks would open his sets and he'd say, all right, let's see if we can get through this shit one more time with a smile on our face. And that's what I would think. All right, let me see if I can get through this shit one more time with a smile on my face. But that's what Rudy Giuliani must have felt like. You know, he has to go out there to this total landscaping place and just be like, you know, give a speech about how they are shrewd. You know, he just came out there, he goes, do they think we're stupid? Do people think that we're stupid? What are people talking about? The people who think we're stupid probably think that we would not end up in a landscaping alley, a parking lot, right across from a shop where they sell dildos and fisting devices. But here we are. And let me tell you something. There's a lot that's gone on bad with this election. Mr. Trump has been ruined in this election. It is completely unfair what they've done to Donald Trump, one of the smartest men of all time. And the staff at the White House, who could not be better. They're the people who put together this glorious location that we all decided early was exactly where we wanted. Some people said, well, do you want a stage or maybe some sort of barrier? Why not do it at a hotel? And we said, hotel, schmotel, no-tel is what we said. We said, no, nay, hotel. I would rather stand in a handicapped parking spot in the back alley of a landscaping establishment to let people know that their democracy has been hijacked. And we must take these rakes and these leaf blowers and these weed begons, and we must use all the items that we have around us to fight the fact that the democracy is being watered down and ruined. They think we're stupid? Why? Because we're standing where they put the garbage from a landscaping establishment? They don't think very much of us, do they? They don't know that this place holds a lot of press conferences, that a lot of people choose the Four Seasons landscaping establishment as a place to give press conferences. This is where they do a lot of USC weigh-ins. A lot of USC weigh-ins in the back of this building. This is where Ronald Reagan announced his candidacy. No, it isn't. Shut up. Shut your fucking mouth. I'm talking. Okay? By the way, if anyone is having trouble getting some roots out of their garden, the lower teeth in my head are very good for derooting. That's another reason why we're here. This was a choice. Anyone who thinks we accidentally ended up at the back of a landscaping place, boy, you are stupid. You're so dumb, you may as well be up here talking right now. So that was quite a move they made. And then they said, so then the QAnon people said that they believed that the reason why it was held there is not because it's across the street from a sex shop, but because there's a crematorium there, and the crematorium is where they were burning votes. So Trump thought, the best way to show that, have Rudy Giuliani stand next to their recycling bin and shout. Pretty smart. Gonna miss them. Gonna miss them. What do we got going here? Hi, everybody. Or a Best Buy. Yeah, Dave brings you joy. Good. Oh, I think I just caught up with you. Boy, there's a lot of talking going on. I don't know. They need a special place for bum stuff. Thanks, everyone. Yes, Michelle, feel better. If everyone feel better. Alexis, what's up? Hi, I'm doing your podcast soon, I think. Yes. Okay, all right, there you go. Fantasy Island hosts a legit event called Dildo-Rama. There's actually they do a show at the Pleasure Chest in Los Angeles. Pleasure Chest. Beautiful chest. Wombats. Wombats is the suggestion. Wombats, the animals in Australia are fucking remarkable. They really are. There's so many crazy ones. The last time I was there, this guy Ryan, who's a buddy of mine now, he invited me and my friend to go to this place where they kind of take like endangered animals or hurt animals, like a rehabilitation center, but also a place where they hold other animals and stuff. But they're not really enclosed. I mean, some are, but they're happy-ish. And I got to meet a wombat, and the wombat actually reminded me a lot of Jose. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, yuck it up. But it did because it liked a butt rub. Like with a wombat I was hanging out with, you just went up to its butt, and its butt was almost like at a very straight angle. It was kind of flush with its legs. And you'd go up, and it felt very like a baseboard, and you would rub its ass, and the wombat, there's nothing funnier to me than when you rub an animal's butt, and an animal likes the butt stuff. You're like, there you go, and the animal's like pushing its butt back towards you, like, that's good, that's nice. It's just like, you dirty dog. But the wombat loved it. Wombats are they almost look like inflated rats, but they're awesome. That day I also met I think it's a cassowary, which is a prehistoric bird. I mean, Australian birds are like total dinosaurs. You've got that, you've got the emu. I'll never forget the first time I fed an emu, it almost poked a hole through my hand. Like, I was like, you're my friend, and it was like, wham! And I was like, ow, my hand is broken now. Kangaroos, amazing. Hung out with a koala named Diesel. Hung out with a bunch of koalas when I was there. So I had a python around my neck, like Brittany, bitch. I'm trying to think. But they have great wildlife there. They really do. That's the last time I was there. I donated I think I donated the merch money to local places that were dealing with the bushfires and stuff like that. But it's amazing. The wombat is great. Wombat's very chill. Nice. Loves a butt rub. Who doesn't? But it loved a butt rub. I gave it a lot of butt rubs. They were eventually like, sir, can you get out of the cage? You're giving this wombat a lot of butt rubs. And I was like, well, what do you want me to do? I'm not from here. And they're like, well, look, that particular wombat is actually in love with its butt rubs. And I was like, that's why I'm giving it. He's like, yeah, but if the wombat becomes smitten, they're a monogamous species, and they will only take to you as their permanent lover. And I said, well, that would be great. I'd love to love a wombat. And they go, nah, but that's bestiality. And I said, well, I'm 40 and alone. And they go, yeah, but still, we're not offering up the wombat for dating. And I said, well, it loves the butt rubs. And they said, sir, we're going to have to ask you to leave the cage. And I said, I live in the cage. And they said, it's not an acceptable answer. And I said, well, I'll see myself out. Yeah, I'm a little DJ on the way out. Why do guys call their friends buddies? I don't know. I call all my buddies buddies. I don't know. Might be a Midwest thing. They're my buddies. They're my bros, my buds. I don't know. What do girls call them? You just, friends? Come on, it's basic. My friends and I. No. My buddies and I. No, I think it's better to say friends. I don't agree. Buddies. It's like they're my bros, my buddies. Yes, but that's what friends mean, and that's a little classier. Yeah, but they're not friends. They're not friends? No, they're buddies. Do you have a best friend? I have a best buddy. Do you have a best buddy? I have a best friend. I'm starting to think that we're kind of different, the two of us. That's right. I call them friends, and I call them buddies, and I call them friends, and I call them buddies. Together we're doing whatever we can to find the difference between woman and man, because to me, they're friends, but to me, they're buddies. There you go. That's a little song. That's called Friends and Buddies. It's available on my website. Just when you see the #1 hit button, hit it. And hit it like a wombat's ass, okay? Thank you. When you can hear your neighbors having sex. Yeah, that's a very weird time when you hear your neighbors fucking, Like, because it's like kind of arousing, but it's also really fucking weird. Although, I had a downstairs neighbor once, and that's not a euphemism for my penis. I had a downstairs neighbor once, and when he was having sex with his wife, I'm not kidding you, it sounded like a pig looking for truffles. I could hear it. And it was just like, and I was like, oh my God. Like, I expected, to just see, a bucket of bones sitting outside of their door the next day and him being like like you just had cannibalized her. But yeah, it's weird. You know, I think once you hear them having sex, then you're like, how good is the sex, right? Like you hear your neighbors fucking, and then you're like, all right, how good is the fucking? Like how loud is she? How long is it lasting? Like when you get the bed frame action, like the boom, 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 you know, you're like, okay, you know. I was in a hotel in Seattle once, and the dude next door, I mean, I don't know what his deal was, but my God, was he fucking giving it to this woman. And this woman was losing it, you know? It was like, I mean, it made me be like, have I done this wrong? Like, I mean, I know it's supposed to go until people are done, but this woman sounded like she was like, oh my God, oh my God. I was like, I ended up calling the front desk. I was that guy. I was like, yeah, excuse me, front desk. And they were like, hello, front desk. And I was like, why did I start the call like that? And they're like, I don't know, let's do it again. And I was like, okay. And then I called back, and I'm like, hello, front desk. And he goes, no, one more time. I go, what did I do? And then I call back, and I go, and he goes, front desk. And I go, hey, front desk. The people next door to me, how do I put this, are very loud right now. And he just goes, I know exactly what you're saying, sir. Give me a moment. And then I heard their phone ring next. I mean, I was like the ultimate old piece of shit. These kids are fucking too loud next door. They better get a baby out of this, otherwise they're sinning in the eyes of the Lord, I tell you. But yeah, so you know that's twofold. You go, oh, it's loud, and then you go, how loud can it get? And then I've also been the person where my neighbors have heard me. I had my one neighbor one time, this guy Joe. And he literally came up to me, and he was like, yeah, man, that was loud. And I was like, this is weird. He was like, yeah, it is weird, but don't do that. Close your window more. I was like, I can't. Okay, thank you. So, yeah. But it's fun. Dad, what do you think about that? Do you like neighbor sex? Father? Daddy? Daddy Reynolds? Like neighbor sex? What's it like? Okay. Father's not there. My father has abandoned the show. All right, next suggestion, turning the clocks back. Yay, an extra hour of sleep, or boo, less light during the day. I mean, I'm not one of these people who, like, gives a huge shit. To me, the biggest pain in the ass is changing all the clocks, you know? Like, you get your house clocks done, and then you're like, car clock, and you got to do car clock while you're driving. And then some car clocks are like, not while you're driving, mister. And you're like, car clock, go fuck yourself. But to me, I guess I look at it as an extra hour of sleep. But even then, that's just one night. So you're sacrificing your daylight for that 1 hour of sleep that really doesn't matter. It makes me get up earlier, honestly, because I'll see it's like 7:30, and I'll be like, 7:30, I can get up now, and then really it's 6:30. So I would say, I guess to me, it's more boo, less light during the day. You know, I mean, it's weird when it gets dark at like 4:30. Like when I was in Denmark last year, like it's fucking dark at like 3 o'clock. And you know what that does? It opens you up to street drinking. I was with Dave, and we were just walking the streets of Denmark, and like we got this drink. I can't remember what it was called, but it was some sort of like, I can't remember what it's called, but it was a nice little alcoholic drink. And they're like, would you like a shot of rum inside of it? And I was like, yeah. And then I was like, wait, no, it is 2:45. Nice try, lady. So yeah, it's deceptive. I would think it's bad. I think if you have depression, it's not good. Light helps you. The light helps you. That's why I don't go anywhere without this big light behind me. Or in front of me. Whatever you want to do. However you want to call it. Quantum Leap. This is a good suggestion. Quantum Leap was a great show. For those of you who are young or not nerds, Quantum Leap was a great show. Quantum Leap followed Sam Beckett, scientist, who put himself in the Quantum Leap chamber in a white turtleneck outfit, and he leapt back in time. He would go back in time, and he would become the person, and he would solve the person's main problem. But Gareth, how did he know what the main problem was? His friend Al, who was a hologram, who only Sam could see. And he would smoke a cigar, and he would have a little, like, calculator thing, and he'd be like, Sam, I'm telling you, it looks like we got to do this time. But so Sam would leap into the body of someone. It was the best way to transition to a show, Because at the end of every episode, he would finish this person's problem, and then he would leap, and he would turn all blue, lightning blue, and then he'd go into someone else's body, and then all of a sudden, like, someone would deal a card, and they'd be like, all right, Terry, flip him over. And he'd flip him over, and they'd go, you got a royal flush. And then, like, a card would drop out of his sleeve, and the guy'd go, you're cheating. And then he'd look to the camera, and he'd go, or no, he'd look in the mirror. He'd look in the mirror at himself, and he'd see that he was like a cowboy, and he'd go, oh, boy. And then next week, you'd be like, what is this cowboy going to do? A great show. That show is due for a reboot. Very episodic, very good. I remember one episode, though, that I often reflect back on and think, how did they get away with that? Where he was a Secret Service member for John F. Kennedy. And they did it. It was a 3-part episode. He was Oswald at one point. At one point he was Oswald, and he shot the president. But he stopped. I can't remember exactly what happened. But John F. Kennedy dies, and then Al at the end of it goes, yeah, but Sam, remember, the first time Jackie died too. So he was there to save Jackie, but they'd insinuated that Jackie Kennedy Onassis was killed. I was NBC was yeah, that's fine. Legally, that's fine. You know, the lawyers at NBC were yeah, we're just going to do some heroin and then okay everything. Always struck me as very, very fucking weird. So yeah, that was Quantum Leap, but that was a great show. Sorry, I'm drinking so much water. Okay. What would make a better currency? Coconuts or friendly spiders? This is a very bananas suggestion. This is crazy, just so you know. This suggestion is crazy. What would make better currency, coconuts or friendly spiders? I mean, I don't think, no matter how friendly they are, I don't think people are going to sign up for keeping baby spiders in their pants, right? I don't even know how that works. That'll be 35 friendly spiders. Okay, let me just go in my pocket here. All right, here we go. There's 20 friendly spiders and 5 friendly spiders. Or are you, giving different denominations to the size of spider? It's that'll be 3 black widows and a daddy long legs. And you're like, okie dokie. 1 and 2 and 3, and let me see if I got, I'm sorry, can you break a black widow? And they're like, sure, yeah, okay, so here's your change. That is 1 daddy long legs, 2 daddy long legs, 3 daddy long legs, 4 daddy long legs, 5 daddy long legs, 6 daddy long legs, 7 daddy long legs, 8 daddy long legs, 9 daddy long legs. There you go. And you go, thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. He goes, have fun. By the way, where's the money? It's off the fucking counter. And you go, that's why our economic system makes very little sense. You know, have you been to the Treasury lately? It's empty. It's just a bunch of webs. Or coconuts. I guess coconuts, but even then, you know, what the fuck? How are you, you know, someone's like, that'll be 13 coconuts. You're like, I'll be right back. Let me just go to my car and get my coconut bin, and then I'll come back in. So I don't understand the suggestion at all, but I guess I would say coconuts is a better currency than friendly spiders. So just to be clear, for those of you watching, my answer is that if it was down to currency being friendly spiders or coconuts, I'm team coconuts. All right, great. Glad we established that. What's a great episode? I don't even know. What are your nicknames for Jose? Well, Buddy. I call him Buddy all the time. He's my buddy. I swear to God. I'm always like, Buddy, what's up? What's going on, buddy? I'll call him Big Daddy. My man. What's up, my man? What's up, buddy? What's the matter, buddy? How you doing, my man? What's up, buddy? You know, he knows it. It's really weird. The level that I communicate with my cat is pretty fucking nuts. Not coconuts, not having spider currency nuts, but yeah, buddy. What's up, my man? Yeah, that's it. Buddy, he's my buddy. He's my buddy boy. Hold on, let me check my cameras. Great. Okay. What country should take over America? That's a very good one. Well, first of all, I mean, it's safe to say that the state of the United States is so shit at this point that, you know, if we were not the United States would invade and change. They would put in some sort of, figurehead of their choosing. Yeah, there's a lot of options. Germany is a country that has its shit together very well. That's a good country. But then I also feel like maybe it's payback time. Like, wouldn't it be great, like, if a Middle East country, like, took us over? You know? Like, wouldn't it be great if, like, Iraq took us over? You know? Like, just some kind of payback, like some Iraq-back payback. You know, if they took us over, invaded us, tore down our statues of our Confederate leaders, and we feel liberated, and then when they're here, it's just a nightmare, and they don't really do anything, and it's just violent. You know, that would be fun. But I guess I would say Germany now that I hear my Iraq pitched back. Yeah, it's a good country. Its unemployment rate went up 1% because of coronavirus, and the United States, it went up a little higher. Yeah. I think that would be it. You know, and the other thing about Germany is that Germany has that real bad mark on its permanent record. You know, like Germany knows that it is still on probation from Hitler. Like they know that. So like they're not looking to fuck up anymore. Like honestly, like anytime Germany gets out of line, the world's like, "What's going on over there?" And they go, "No, we're not doing anything like that. Promise, we were inquiring about invading a nation, but now that you're here, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, no more of that from you guys. Don't you do that." "No, we're stopped. Sorry." You remember, you know why? Yes, we know why. Why? Please don't make us say his fucking name. Say it. It's Adolf Hitler. Just, what a fucking piece of shit. Exactly. You do that again, Germany, stay in line. You know? So I guess I would say Germany. I think we can trust them finally. They're off probation. Instant ramen. Yeah, instant ramen was the shit. I, like a psychopath, used to like the shrimp one. What? Yeah, I did. I was like, shrimp is good. Shrimp powder. But ramen, I mean, it's not a stereotype that's wrong for me. I, in college, fucking lived on ramen. My roommate and I would eat, I mean, it's like, is it 9 cents, basically? It's like 10 cents for one of them. I mean, you can't fucking beat that, you know? When you have no money and you're like, wait, I could have 10 meals for $1? Like, even when I was at my most broken Los Angeles, what I went for were, I got these $10 or 10 microwavable pizzas for $10. And that was a steal. But ramen, and now ramen's all like, oh yeah, it's ramen. It's like, what the fuck? I'll never understand that when people are like, would you like some Spam and ramen? And you're like, well, those are the things you're not supposed to eat unless it's an emergency, you know? But now, like, everyone loves Top Ramen, and yeah, I don't know. I have not had ramen in a long time. I do have ramen in my home for when, you know, the shit hits the fan and you're not going to be able to leave. Then I'm going to be in there eating my shrimp ramen or my beef ramen, you know, or just plain, I guess. I'm obviously, I don't eat meat, but like when I plan for the apocalypse, I picture myself eating meat. Mainly human meat. And manly human meat. Okay, next. What did you do when you skipped lessons at school? Well, someone's English for sure. What did you do when you skipped lessons at school? You skipped your lessons, you have? They're called classes. No, your lessons. Did you miss maths? They always, in England, math has an S at the end. Maths. What did I do? It varies. I would go to McDonald's and I would smoke cigarettes mainly. Okay, next. The Dollop cult island / the Gareth cult island. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're asking me, am I tempted to start a cult? Yes, I'm very tempted, okay? Think about it. A cult, if you're the leader of a cult, that's all you need. You don't need, the idea that you need to be Kevin Hart famous. You don't need to be Kevin Hart famous, right? That makes your life a fucking nightmare. Your life is not your own life. It's all day. You see Mark Wahlberg's daily schedule? It's like, that's not a fucking existence. What you need is you just need to be surrounded by your loyal 30. That makes your world amazing, right? Now, the key is don't lose the plot, okay? Start it off with just like, hey, we're going to be agrarian. We're going to have each other's back. It's going to be fucking great, you know? Don't fall prey to the fucking. Don't start fucking the people. That's where cults lose it. In all cults, one person ends up being either really smart or Jesus, and they're the leader, And then it's a matter of time. It's months to 2 years away until everybody in that cult has been fucked by Jesus. You know? It's just a matter of time. And it always starts the same. I've even talked about it on here before. Starts the same. It's just like, I was talking to God. Oh my God, he was talking to God. Yeah, and I was talking to God again. He talks to God, yeah. And he was telling me he's excited for the next phase. There's a new phase, yeah. And in the new phase, it sounds crazy. Oh my God, this is exciting. Yeah, it's exciting. But he needs me to start banging some of you. What? Yeah, it's weird. I was like, what are you talking about up there? He was very clear. You're sure he said that? Yeah, 100%. I was like, hey, are you sure? And he was like, please, you must start fucking at least a few of them. Okay, I will. Really? Yeah. And so that's the deal. Excuse me, what? You could fuck our wives? Look, dude, it's crazy, but God said I'm supposed to. He said you're supposed to fuck. Can he tell me that? Well, no, you can't talk to God. Otherwise, you'd be sitting where I am, Jack. Okay? So why don't the men leave, and then the women and I are going to stay. You just don't want to enter that phase, okay? You don't want to enter that phase. You want to just keep it on the up and up, right? Like, what's his name in the Wild Wild West one? Not Wild Wild West. Wild Country. Do you see what happened to my brain just there? I was trying to remember Wild Country, and my brain instead went, you mean the Wild Wild West, the Will Smith, Kevin Kline movie? That's what brains are for, to shit the bed when you need them most. But that's what, like, that guy never fucked any of them, and they went crazy in another way. It was like militant, you know? But yeah, so the Dollop cults, yeah, we may as well, right? I mean, we all would get along. Right? I've met most of the fans of the show, a lot of them at least. Pretty chill. I think we could make it happen. Just get like a plot of land in Wyoming, right? Just 500 of us, build 4 barns, figure it out. You know what I mean? We could do it. We could do anything we wanted. And then we just have to have like the end goal, which is just like we just build a spaceship that we're like, it's going to take us to planet Dollop at some point, you know? Like just some bullshit like that. We got a future goal. We got current goals. So yeah, I'm down. I'm down for the cult island. So just say the word when everyone's ready. What kind of gentleman would you like your mom to date? Well, Father, hello. Welcome back to the chat. What kind of gentleman would my mother would not want to date a person. So I just want her to be happy, and she is happy without that. So I don't believe my mother feels that she needs another person to complete her happiness, and I think that has been sort of instilled in me, and I think it's actually a very valuable trait to have. In some ways, it's detrimental, but for the most part, you get to be good at independence, and I think that's important. But yeah, so nobody. That's the perfect one. Would you welcome a stepfather? What kind of fucking chronology is this? Is this going to lead to like some dating options next? Am I on Hinge for my mother right now? The fuck is happening? Would you welcome a stepfather? I mean, sure, I'd welcome a stepfather, sure. I wouldn't be like, who's this guy, you know? I'd be like, hey, Terry, nice to meet you, you know, whatever. But my mother does have some crazy stories about dudes hitting on her in England recently. Some dude like gave her a letter and then started calling her. And then another guy like pulled up in his truck and he was just like, fancy coming away with me then? And my mother goes, no. She was on a walk and she goes, no. And he goes, all right. And then drove off. It's like, the fuck is with that guy? So yes, I'd welcome a stepfather. If this next suggestion is, what about a baby brother? We might have to end the stream, unfortunately. But yeah, so I would welcome a stepfather for sure. You know, no problem. But again, not everybody needs somebody. Just to be clear. Okay. Cat cafe date. Ooh, I want to go to a cat cafe, but the idea of A, eating or drinking in there is crazy, and B, taking a date there, like that's how I'd know if I found my soulmate. If I was like, will you meet me at a cat cafe? And she's like, I'd love to. Then I'd be like, okay, this might work, you know? But the idea of like having beverages, like uncovered beverages there, like I get enough cat hair in my mouth from just living around my cat. The idea of being around like 100 cats and like being like, oh, my finger sandwiches are here. That's hair, that's hair, that's hair, that's hair, that's hair. Right? What is the vacuum situation like at the cat cafe? There must be some heavy-duty vacuuming going on and grooming in general. But it doesn't matter. Like, Jose has an endless amount of shedding to do. He will never stop shedding. But yeah, a cat cafe date would be great. That would just be a fantastic way to be like, this is the person for me. You know, come home. She said yes. You're getting married? No, she'll go to the weird cafe where they have felines. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. That to me also. It's like that's like not my. I would never. I would like a date like that to me is like fucking weird. Like anytime anyone asks you to go on an elaborate date, I'm like, can we just meet at a bar? I really am just like that. Like, can we just meet up at a bar? Can we meet up at a bar and just go get a few cocktails? Is that cool? Even dinner dates to me, like the idea of taking someone out for a dinner date as your first date is so weird to me, right? It's just like, I'm really glad you said yes. Same here. Now, what do you say we hang out at this stilted situation for 3 hours and make each other's breath smell like enchiladas before I try to kiss you? That's fantastic. Great. Like, that to me is fucking strange, I don't know. I'm weird like that. But I'll never forget my last dinner date. It was like 10 years ago. Like, first date, dinner date. And it was like 10 years ago. And the girl was like, you're going to take me to dinner? And I was like, yeah, I guess. And then we went to dinner. And I was like, why did we do this? Like I don't know. I think it's just less conducive to romance. Do I prefer the big spoon or the little spoon? That's a great question. And the answer might surprise you. We'll be right back with our answer. No, the answer is that I prefer little spoon. I'm a little spoon. I like to be little spoon. I like to have the bat person as my backpack. I like to be like that. And I definitely, women have found it very strange, like, because a woman will be like, my turn. And I'll be like, no, get over here. And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, you're my turtle shell now. And they're like, wait, but this is not how it's supposed to go. And you're like, shh, I need this, I'd rather be the little spoon. So I don't know why. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me, what happened in my childhood. Maybe my father could speak to that. But, yeah, I like being the little spoon. It's nice. And I also, this is kind of weird, but if you're like naked with someone, not a bad feeling to have like breasts pressing on your back, the old boob press, not a bad feeling, Nobody's ever like, get those titties off my back, unless it's someone who was born with back tits and they're talking to a surgeon who's like, I'm the best at removing back boobs. Then you can say that. But other than that, it's nice, Of course, you wake up and you're not like that anymore. You wake up and you're like, blah, right? But yeah, little spoon for this guy. Which Muppet do you most relate to? Ooh, well, I would say a combination between Kermit and Animal. Those would probably be my two spirit Muppets. Yeah, Fozzie was always kind of a meh. Yeah, I would say Kermit and Animal. The inner energy of the Muppet Animal is out of, who else? And sometimes I feel like the balcony old men, That's how, when is this thing going to be over, That's, I like that too. So I would say I'm in a melange of Kermit, Animal, and the grumpy old fucks in the balcony. So that's me. Bowling as a date. Okay, well, I know I said before no to elaborate first dates. Like, bowling maybe makes sense, right? Because the thing about bowling is that you're bonding over an experience, kind of, but you're not like beholden to conversation the whole time. You could take little chat breaks, Also, if you're a guy like me from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, bowling, you're going to impress the person. I do the 2-finger spinner, okay? So people are like, oh, my God, he spins. And you go, oh, yeah, whatever, I spin. I don't want to talk about it. So you got that that profesh form where you roll up, you go wham, one of those guys. So bowling is probably good as a first date, but you got to do the night bowling, like the time when they're like, hey, all those things you heard about regular bowling? Yeah, it's pretty boring. Well, have you ever done it at night? Yeah, it's boring too. Have you ever done it in the dark? What the fuck are you talking about? That's right, it's neon time. We got a motherfucking DJ, and you're gonna fucking bowl, And it's just like everything has that neon element to it. That's badass bowling. That's when you're like, girl, this ain't daddy's bowling. So yeah, bowling as a date, not terrible. Not a terrible date. However, very possible that, you got to make sure this is what I never understand about bowling. Don't order food while you bowl, okay? Do not do that. Would you go and just put 3 fingers in strangers' anuses and then just take some tater tots and put them in your mouth? No. And if you would, okay. But most people would not, and that's basically what bowling is. You're sticking 2 fingers and a thumb in this strange holes that I'm sure they'd never clean. How are bowling alleys going to be open during coronavirus? I mean, you've got to, you have like the hole cleanser? The guy was like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. This one's ready, it's good, but don't eat. Don't eat and bowl. You got to go wash your hands if you're going to eat when you bowl. Nothing is fucking weirder to me than people who have no concept of germs. Yes, okay, I'm a germaphobe. I'll admit it from earlier. Jesus Christ. Okay. What the hell do you do on New Year's Eve? Well, do you mean most New Year's Eves? Honestly, I'm going to have the same answer. Nothing. I don't do shit. I stay in. I make it to midnight, get drunk. I take January off from drinking. So it's a nice night to just have one more Capri, getting drunk, and then being done. But I love avoiding these big holidays. I love it. It's like a drug to me. Like traveling on Christmas, like nothing much on Thanksgiving, or home early on Thanksgiving. Nothing on New Year's. I'm like an old piece of shit curmudgeon. I really am just like, no, not going to do it. Happy to not have to do that shit. I feel like you gain a night. I mean, that's what I remember, like, my friends who used to do drugs, like, my friends who used to, like, do a lot of coke, I was like, my cocaine is waking up the next day feeling good. That would be my drug. I would wake up the next morning and be like, oh, they're gonna feel so bad, and this New Year's, you don't do shit. Spend it with Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen like the rest of us, would you please? Just hang out, okay? It's fun. Anderson Cooper's taking shots and he can't handle it. He's making that little face. He looks like Beaker, speaking of Muppets. So feel no pressure. Don't do shit. Don't worry about it. Just if you like drinking, buy some booze, kick it at home. If you don't, just sit at home. Okay? No more questions. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me just check these cameras real quick. Great. Hearing noises in the night. Yeah, well, there's 2 versions of that. There's hearing noises in the night yourself, when you're like, what was that? It's scary. I have this big thing on my wall. It's got these African masks inside of it, and it's huge. In the middle of the night, it fell, and the glass shattered. 4 a.m. And I woke up totally naked, and I just ran out of my bed to my living room, like ready to fight an intruder naked. Which I was like, what was my plan here? It would have been a weird element. Just seems like he's got a lot of advantages, right? He can very easily just go testes. But then there's also when you're with a significant other and they hear noises. That stereotype, it's true. Like, they want you to go check, Did you hear that? Did I hear what? That noise. What noise? I heard a noise. What noise? I don't know. Go check. Well, why do I have to go check? You have to go check. Haven't you ever seen this situation in movies and rom-coms? Fine. And then you got to go check, right? The plan here, I guess, is to just, they must have a fetish of wanting to watch you get murdered if they think what is happening is actually happening, you know? Just that you got to go fucking do that, and you don't, what do? You grab a steak knife and like a ladle. You're like, this motherfucker better not know his shit. This fucking dude better have no idea what combat is, you know? You're not going to win that fight. It's just a good way to die naked in the middle of the night. So, yeah, you hear noises in the night. Yeah, you get worried, you know? But most times it's not anything. That time it is. Oh, shit. That's how you end up on headline news. Okay. Oh, and that's it. We've reached the end. We have reached the end. Hearing noises in the night. Last suggestion. Earthquakes? Oh, earthquakes are fucking nuts. Earthquakes in the night are nuts. That is true. I've been woken up by earthquakes in the night. I'll be honest. One time, I had taken some mushrooms, somehow went to bed, and had an earthquake in the night, and I was like, I'm tripping! And I wasn't. It was an earthquake. But yeah, earthquakes in the night will freak you the fuck out. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, I do claim to basically be a nudist at home. Yeah, I'm on record. Well, there's no point to wearing clothes at home. Yeah, what is the point of sleeping in clothes? Like, maybe you'll sleep sometimes in shorts, but what's the point? If you live alone, it's like, who gives a fuck, right? I've said this before. Like, when I come home, it's like, you know, it's like a 50s sitcom when the dad takes his hat off and puts it on the rack and then takes his coat off and hangs it up. That's me, except it's clothing. And there's no rack. It's just like, clothes off. And then I'm like, now I can cook food comfortably. Yeah, the New Year's we celebrate making it through 2020. Yeah, we make it through 2020 this year. What else we got? Wait, yes, your spouse. Wait, I lost that one. Yes, my spouse. I can't find it. Yeah. Oh, Alexis, are you? Yeah, you're nudists? Good. Yeah, my wife treats the apartment like a forest. Good, yes. What is this one? Exactly. I live alone, and Gary and I are the same. Yes, that's right, Moose Gronholm. We live alone. Why need clothes? You don't need clothes. Gareth, would you date a fan? It would be a little weird to date a fan, probably. You know, I have gone out with people who know who I am, and so it happens, you know, but... you know, you're open to stuff like that, but it's you know, you don't want to get, you got to be delicate. You got to be careful. You know, you got to separate your worlds a little bit, I think that's important. Okay, let's Jose time. Did my father leave? Dad, Papa? Daddy? Yeah, he must have rolled. Papa? All right, here, I'll get the cat. Ooh. Yes, sleepy buddy. Somebody loves Thursdays. That's right. It's your favorite night of the week. While you sleep, we wake you up to say what's up, my little baby boy. My little angel baby, my little baby man, you're the best friend that I can have. I love my boy, he looks so drugged. That's what he feels when he's hugged. This sweet little baby, angel man, he's the best. Yes, I'm a fan. He's black and white, he looks upright. He spins around, he wants to go down. He's aggravated now, he's moving a lot. Let's have a look right inside each other. Yes, my love, my baby man, I love you so. I am a fan. You're my man, you're my buddy, as expressed before. I told them you would rather be on the floor. But here we are, doing the reverse hello. And back to this. Here we go. Look at those paws. Let's break the laws of roommate code. I miss my big meaty boy. He's a fat load. Okay. I don't know what happened at the end there. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out or staying home or whatever. Truly, hang the fuck in there. We can only be strengthened by the bond of sharing trauma. So that's what this is. It's weird little trauma we're sharing. So I love y'all. Appreciate it. I hope you feel better, Cindy, and whoever else was having a tough time. So we're all there for each other. I think it must be Wednesday next week that we'll do this. So unless you hear differently, next Wednesday we'll do this. The following night is the live Dollop. You can go to loopedlive.com and get tickets. And take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Mwah! Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
His name is Gareth. Hence why it's Gareth.